It's been a couple of years, right?
It's been a minute, Kurt. Yes, sir.
And you've been having quite a time that we're going to hear about tonight. But first of all, who are those people? Do you know who they are? Or they just brought them up off the sidewalk.
We were looking for parking, and he rolled us up here on a gurney or something. I don't know.
Definitely.
You do almost need a gurney to get up the stairs.
Yeah. Depending on the day. Y'all introduce yourselves here.
Go ahead, Kong.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Kong Moi. Is that what else?
I mean, that's
I was
usually
like,
how an introduction works. Here's my name.
I was like,
I'm with you, buddy. I'm Taz Halloween. That's what I go by in real life and
And in
work
real
and
life.
musically and everything.
In radio studios.
Is life real? I don't know.
Well, great to have all of you here, and can't wait to hear Stefan's creative adventures of the last couple of years. And you've been here before, so you know we like to just jump in and kick it off with a song. Whatever you'd like to play, we'd love to hear.
Well, I think what we like to start with is a number that is early in the show. This is a number that features Kong. He played the role of Gibson, and Taz, in this instance, as Rory, who, for all intents and purposes, is a metaphor for the city, the big city being specifically New York City, has a bit part in this number as well. It's called Good Damn Night.
Tickets, please. Have your tickets out and ready. Boarding for New York here. Are you sure?
excuse me.
I said
did you just?
tickets, please. Load from the back.
Holy shit! I'm finally getting out of here. Note I left said, sorry, my skin was too thin. Call you in. I get to Sasha's. Don't worry none. I'll be okay. And stop. Fries and pop at the Dairy Queen. The highway hums a song for me. The headlights look like shooting stars. I made a wish that got me grinning from ear to ear. Imagine if I was to hit the big time. Ain't it a good damn, a good damn, a good damn night. Thunderclouds, storm is coming in my sleep. I'm dreaming that I'm drowning in a raging, rising wall of gold. The driver wakes me.
Hey, kid.
She says,
This would be your stop.
gather up my things and take a deep breath. Ain't it a good damn, a good damn, a good damn, a good damn, a good, oh so good, a good, oh so good, a good, oh so good, a good, oh so good. Suddenly I feel so damn small.
All right. Stefan, you alluded to this was from a show, but our listeners may not know about the show. So, what is the show, man?
It is a rock banjo opera called Sunnyland. And it's been something that I've been working on since about 2018. It's when it was sort of first hatched. I think we might have had the occasion to play a couple rough early sketches here on the show.
I think
back
that's
then.
true, but I'm not sure we really grokked at that point the concept of a banjo rock opera. I don't know if anybody had except you.
But
So this has been percolating in your creative soul for some time. Did you have some sense of had you seen a lot of theater and you thought I'd like to do that, or you just what happened?
I had always been a fan of the form, always been fascinated with music and movement. Some of the earliest songs that got my toes tapping would have been music from like Mary Poppins or The Jungle Book. There was one number in particular that I always loved and featured Louis Prima, I Want to Be Like You. And songs from those songs, of course, were written by the Sherman Brothers. And those guys were pretty awesome, tremendous
darn good.
output, really wonderful songs and numbers. But it was on the back end of supporting my last full-length studio album, Salvatella. And it was our buddy Randy Seals, who ran Pop of the World there in Greensboro, played drums and was the engineer and ran the studio where we recorded the album. But I had done a live performance, and after one of the live performances, he had said to me, kind of reminds me of Death of the Salesman. I said, so what, I'd be better if I was dead? No, he said, it had, there's just a theatrical, aspect to, how you are putting it out there. Maybe
so he was
sometime
planting that seed.
Yeah, he did in saying that maybe sometime you might want to write a song cycle or something more like a musical theater piece, and so that would have been 2015, 2016, and it was there. He put, like you said, he put that seed, and then as I was out and performing and supporting the album, half the time I was getting told my music was inappropriate. By venues that I thought or presumed I would be appropriate. But then the other half of the time I'm getting told, well, you remind me of a cross between Shel Silverstein and Roger Miller.
All right.
So finally worn out on and with COVID coming on and I started getting serious about it.
Well, we're going to drill down on the germination and growth of this fine piece of work as we move along through the next hour, but we do want to focus on getting as much music in as we can. So what do you have for us next?
All right, I think the next number we're going to do is the number that comes directly after Good Damn Night. And this one is going to feature Taz Halloween on the vocals in the role of Rory. And what has happened is Gibson has come out of the terminal. He's gotten off the bus, and he's picked up by a crowd of commuters.
We got introduced. I'm sorry to interject here, but we got introduced briefly to Gibson in the previous song, but I don't think you've really told us much of Gibson leading up into where we are now. Who is Gibson?
Gibson is a misunderstood youth, growing up in a small town as a punk rock loving, banjo slinging. Yeah, he was always a little bit different, didn't quite belong, and eventually, after he gets run off the road on his bicycle one more time, decides that he's going to join his friend Sasha, take her up on an invitation, and go to New York City.
Awesome. Thank you for the backstory. Now, back to where we were.
So Gibson, now having made that decision, gets on the bus, goes to the city, and gets out at the terminal, and gets picked up by a rush of commuters. They rush him out the door, gets dumped on the sidewalk, and then this is Taz as the big city, Rory, kind of giving Gibson what for, laying down the law, telling him what's in store for him now that he is here in the big city.
And I gotta say, it's super hard to be mean to this nice young man right here. I love Kong.
Dig deep.
Really, it was so hard during the play. I was like, oh my God. Oh Lord. Okay, I'll see what happens. Well, what do we have here? Gibson made it to the big city. He has no idea what he's in for, does he? You watching this? I'm sure. Let me help you out. I love that smell. Straight off the bus. Where's the fire? What's the hurry? Let's chew the cud. Charmed, I'm sure. So let me guess. You want to be a star? Get in line with the rest. I seen a million like you, and I crushed their dreams. Douse the power real good with gasoline. Then I lit me up a match and let it fire. Laughing while the sparks lit up the sky. Goodness, don't that look so pretty? The way it lights up the sky like that. Kind of looks like the 4th of July back home, don't it, Gibson? I've seen a million like you, and I crushed their dreams. Douse the pie real good with gasoline. Then I lit me up a match and let it fly. What's the matter? Can't you look me in the eye? That's right, Gibson, your mama ain't here. Don't bother looking around for her, 'cause she ain't here. Sure hope you packed your big boy pants. You ready to dance? Charmed, I'm sure, and so are you. 'Cause now you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a big bite and chew and chew. Gonna take a big bite and chew and chew. Gonna take a big bite. Take a big bite. Take a big bite and chew and chew. I really do love you. I'm sorry.
Taz Halloween, y'all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
See, we told you this was going to be a unique hour.
Unique, and you gotta love that, the way the city laughs at Gibson.
So brutal.
Well, Stefan, we heard that was suggested to you back maybe 2018 or so that you ought to do something thematic with a series of pieces of music, but you took it from there. So did the story emerge first, like the book, libretto, whatever they call it, or did you start putting together a few songs and they suggested where this was going to go, or do you remember what happened?
There was a rough idea of a story, incidents, vignettes, happenings. Some of it going back to my growing up in rural western Maryland, and then a lot of it's then influenced or inspired by time that I spent living in New York City myself. Things you see, people you meet. So you start to take a look at all these different experiences, all these different sights and sounds and smells and things, and you create a rough outline. One of the first numbers that I did write, because I had felt that, you know, the idea of going to the big city and getting beat down, which I kind of experienced myself. I finally left in 2007 to move here to North Carolina because I couldn't cope. I was overwhelmed. I was sound sensitive. I was anxious, and yeah, I needed greener and quieter. So I had experienced that myself, and so that idea of the city, you know, Rory in the last number, you know, laughing, and you know, to where it's a laugh that's almost a weapon. It's, you know, it's bludgeoning, you know, is the way that it can kind of feel. You know, it just as I began to get kind of wigged out and not feel at home anymore in New York, I could recall there at Astor Place, the 6 comes in and the track is real tight, and it screams like a banshee, and it was, you know, sound, and it is an energy.
Oh yeah.
And I can remember feeling like I was just being beat. You know, my whole body
By that
was just
incessant sound every 15 minutes or however long it is, just pounding on you.
Yeah. So it's all of those, all these different experiences, and wrote the outline, and then started writing more of the songs. Some of the songs pop right in, you know, they slot right in, and then there are others that actually, as you're, you know, developing the number and getting to learn the character who's actually singing the song. You know, there was definitely one occasion where I got told. You know, I thought I knew what the song was supposed to be, but no, the character told me different.
That's cool when it happens. So it sort of took on a life of its own after a while.
It did.
Started to speak to you.
It said,
After traveling to New York a good bit, when I was working, which I liked the energy, and I really liked going home afterwards, a few days later. But I think what struck me was you never saw the sky. I mean, you maybe see a little piece of sky, but it was like, you know, you're sort of
Yeah, certainly no stars.
surrounded. Well, there are a lot of stars
Just
on Broadway.
Just not in the
Oh,
sky.
you mean those stars.
but don't.
Well, we're excited to continue on this journey with you. This has been great fun, and I know our listeners are enjoying this tremendously.
One of whom is my baby sister, Lisa, who says, hey. But she's Elizabeth now. Yeah.
Oh, I love you, Elizabeth.
Speaking of Sunny, runs in the family.
I think she got most of it.
You got it.
What you got next, Breadfoot?
Well, I think what we're going to do is one more live number, and then we're excited to share some fresh new demos that we
All right.
recorded recently at Good Luck Studios with our good buddy F.J. Ventry. But this next number is a number that I wrote to help us finish the show. There is the number that the last number currently is simply called the Sunnyland finale, and in that in that number, Gibson and the character Sasha, who is his friend from back home, that invited him to come to New York, end up singing a snippet of this number. And it is a song that came from what I see as an animated, a live-action animated feature that Gibson used to watch all the time when he was a kid, and it was a safe place. It was, it was a happy place. It was somewhere where he could escape to. He would always turn to this one film, and the chorus has to do with putting the sun in the cup and drinking it up. Is what it is. As we worked through the stage reading, and this is the cool thing about doing the stage reading, it occurred to me that maybe it was a song that the character of Rory needed to take at the end. We already had it set up where she comes along and takes his banjo, which he's dumped in the bin, and then puts it in her cart and toodles on down the road with it. But I had this idea that maybe she actually starts singing that song.
Aha. So you get kind of a callback there.
Well, we get a bit of a callback, but what my thought was is that she ends up not only taking his banjo, but then also kind of takes his joy.
Ah, right.
You know, so if this song was in the movie that brought him comfort, so it's as if Rory then just takes everything from it.
Rory's mean.
Horrible.
That's kind of how the city can be.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So this will be the first occasion for us to kick this live for y'all.
All right,
So
let's do it.
This is a world premiere, really, of this whole number. All right.
We'll see.
Yeah. And this is called "Sun in the Cup." 1, 2.
Put-
Right? 1, 2, 3.
You put the sun in the cup and you drink it all up. That's the way we keep things sunny up here in Sunnyland. Here in Sunnyland, we live our lives like a dream that's floating on a breeze. The clouds don't stay, all the work is like play. It's never not sunny, and we like it that way. Here in Sunnyland, we live our lives like a dream that's floating on a breeze. La la la, ra da 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 da. Live our lives like a dream, just floating on a breeze. Put the sun in a cup and you drink it all up. You put the sun in a cup and you drink it all up. You put the sun in a cup and you drink it all up. Here in Sunnyland, here in Sunnyland, Sunnyland.
I'm just clapping for the hell of it because y'all are.
I love that you turn your voice into kind of this childlike voice there. That it's perfect.
It's
We
creepy.
texted about that. It was a very last minute decision.
Perfectly creepy.
No, that was ideal. So
That's the Halloween.
She totally took my soul away.
right.
Poor Gibson. Poor
So
Kong.
Kong, how did you get roped into this?
So where I recently graduated from Chapel Hill University.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Recently, as in just this past Mother's Day.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was like,
Congratulations.
I've lost track of time now. But I did. There was like this series called the Process series, and one of he was my professor at the time because I majored in communications. His name is what's his name? Oh my god, I blanked out. Oh no, I blanked out.
Blanked out on Joseph.
I know, I blanked out on Joseph. I'm sorry.
Joseph Meagle.
I'm sorry, Joseph.
not
Joseph
here.
Migo. I blanked out. I am so sorry, Joseph.
Joseph,
But-
I saw them planning this in the green room.
Don't tell her.
Don't say that. Don't say that. But yeah, I saw like an audition for it, I believe, and I was like, you know what, I want to. My minor is musical theater, and so I was like, let's try it. 'Cause
So you saw a banjo rock opera and you said, "I'm in."
I was like, this is very interesting. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. What could happen?
Awesomeness could happen.
Yeah, awesomeness could happen. And like my parents, they always told me this. They always told me that whenever you feel uncomfortable about doing something, that usually 90% of the time is a good sign.
So that's when you should lean in and try harder.
Definitely.
Got it.
Yay.
And so and then we did it, and boom, bada bing, we're here.
Yeah, I was there at one of the Process series shows, and I'm not sure what my expectations were going in, but they were exceeded. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I mean, even though this is not blocked, really staged, it's more a reading and a singing of the words and the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But it was compelling. It was good stuff. I walked away and I had invited friends to come with me, and I said, nah. And I texted them afterwards and said, you missed out. This was really something cool.
Yay.
Well, everybody, we are going to hear some live recordings from F.J. Ventry's studio with these fine folks, but we are approaching the top of the hour, so why don't we get our business done first? We do want to draw your attention, if you're listening on WHUPFM.org, which is our audio. We also are streaming the video of tonight's show, as we do every Friday. Bob, tell people where to find that.
That's right. You can find the live stream, which is a high-def live stream married to the high-def audio broadcast. So whatever you're hearing anywhere gets married to this high-def video that you can catch at WHUP Pass the Hat, at WHUP Pass the Hat, on your favorite streaming services. And your favorite streaming services are Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Facebook and Twitch will keep those for 2 weeks. YouTube keeps them forever, or until YouTube changes their policy. But anyway, you can go out to YouTube and you can be watching this live, and then you can go back into the channel and see all the live videos we've had over the past several years, and see a wonderful video archive of live local performers here on Pass the Hat.
We've been here for over 10 years now, and we have about the first 500 shows were audio only, but the last 500 have been this video streaming. So get out there. It's arguably the finest archive of local, regional, and national original music you will find anywhere, on demand 24/7.
There's no argument. It is. I'll fight you.
We are WHUP LP Hillsborough. The show is Pass the Hat, and Bob, we are thrilled to have an hour 2 sponsor.
That's right. Support for the second hour of Pass the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthews Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsborough, North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it, we all have chocolate needs. As Taz is displaying right now, every guest on Pass the Hat gets a gift of chocolate from Matthew. We don't know what's in the box, but we know that it is delicious. Every holiday, as you know, is a chocolate holiday, so wander on over to Matthew's for what's coming up. Father's Day is coming up. Fathers, I can tell you unequivocally, like chocolate. So go over there, place your order, get your chocolate. Don't show up on Father's Day and expect there to be a pile of chocolate there. You need to get the order in advance, and then everyone will be happy.
We're here with Stephen Myers and friends of Breadfoot Music. Stephen, you were going to share some of your recent live recordings of this rock banjo opera. And Bob, you have those queued up on the CD machine?
I do. I have track number 3 queued up.
Super duper. Yeah, we had completed the reading back in February, and my wish was that we would be able to get Kong, Taz, a couple of the other student actors in to reprise their roles. A fresh batch of demos beyond what my original sketches that I had put out there as I was writing. I thought could serve us well moving forward. Certainly having done a stage reading it's it's an opportunity that allows for, for development, to try things, to to get the audience reaction, and to see how people, how things land, and how folks, how they take it in. But these demos then could help me, hopefully, or help the show get more opportunities, such like was the Process series.
Yeah.
And so, I'm super excited about these. Always love working with FJ, and an opportunity to work with all these, the whole gang again. We have track 3 queued up, and this is a number called "You're Gonna Love It," and this features Gabby Hinkle and then Buck Weldon, right?
I think so.
Yeah. And then Gibson as well. And Gibson has just been beaten to a pulp by Rory as the big city. And Sasha and Buck come around the corner and kind of scrape him up, and then they head on down the road. But if you play the number, it'll tell you more of the story. But this is called "You're Gonna Love It."
Come on, Dickie, stop it.
Best swear he's just a friend.
I swear. Oh, hell no. Dickie, get my bag. Gibson, are you okay? Get back to Lauren Crone. Dickie, just don't stand there. Let's grab his stuff and go. Straight across to Broadway, then down to Union Square. Gibson, it's good to see you. Can't believe you're finally here. Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I really love it.
The way it buzzes.
All night and all day.
And it'll make you.
Or it'll break your heart in two.
Hurry up, here comes the train.
Sasha, am I dreaming?
Ain't it just the best?
Don't look this tall on TV.
Hey, dude, watch your step.
Our place is just a few blocks. Can't wait for you to see. See these and the cyclone.
Hey, isn't that Spike Lee?
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I really love it.
The way it buzzes.
All night and all day.
And it'll make you.
Or it'll break your heart in two.
Hang on a sec. Let me find my keys.
Wow, I love the place.
Stay as long as you need.
Sasha says you rock. Is that a banjo? Yes, indeed. Tonight's my open mic. It's the biggest anywhere. Come on, Gibson, don't you wanna make the scene?
Oh, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, I really love it. The way it buzzes all night and all day. And it'll make you, or it'll break your heart in two.
Come on, hurry up, we gotta make. Come on, hurry up.
We gotta make.
Come on, hurry up, we gotta make. Come on, hurry up, we gotta make. Come on, hurry up, we gotta make the scene.
Oh, that was fun.
That was fun.
So did FJ lay down the instrumental parts, or where'd that come from?
FJ, he's multi-talented.
Oh, that's the great thing about working with him. Yeah.
Yep. So he put down the bass in this instance. Featured on drums and percussion is Daniel Hall.
Okay, great.
And then I put down all the rest of the guitars on this particular
No
number.
kidding.
Yeah.
So, what was that process like, walking into the studio and persuading FJ that this was something he wanted to do?
Cash on the Just kidding, FJ.
Yeah, money talks. No.
He does say no to people sometimes.
Does he?
FJ and
I've heard,
have since I first got over the shock of, after I landed in North Carolina and was coming down from, the trauma of being in New York, getting my head together again and feeling like I wanted to play music. FJ and was one of the first musicians that I kind of did a little bit of work with. I remember kicking around some early versions and demos of Salvatella with him and the late Matt Brown, who was just an amazing drummer and a real special person. It's a shame that we don't have him anymore, but that was my first introduction to FJ, and we've had occasion through the years to work on some stuff. And so, yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of arm twisting or coercion. I sent him previews of the numbers, and also the archival video of the Saturday show from the Process series reading, and he checked it out and was totally jazzed.
I'm sure he enjoys doing week after week of singer-songwriter ballads, but to have this come in would be a thrill.
I think it was a little bit of a change.
Probably a big selling point, being something new and different and a different challenge.
So how many? We have a series of these live ones we're going to...
Well, yeah, we have 3 more of the studio demos.
Great.
And what we're hearing as we listen to this is, rock banjo opera. This is closer to what I think I hear in my head for some of these numbers.
Oh, that's got to be a good feeling,
So
though.
when we did the reading, we did it stripped down and sort of unplugged and analoged. The idea was to focus on the music and the words. Very little bells and whistles, and it also just kept it simpler. We didn't have to mic people. We didn't try to do a full rock and roll band. It just, that's a lot. That's even more moving pieces, and it's complicated enough. But yeah, what you're hearing with these demos is closer to where I would hope things eventually get to, if we ever have the opportunity to do a full stage performance.
So, what do you think that opportunity would look like? Are you working with people that might put that into into play?
That's a ways down the road.
Don't even want to dream too hard about that
Well,
right now.
I have pictures in my head, what a possible set could look like, but that's also something that I really don't want to think about too much, because this is something that's pretty amazing about the theater. And in my opinion, is that we have an opportunity here for a tremendous amount of collaboration, and within the theater, live theater, there, people have specific roles and talents and abilities, so part of the excitement, to just for the stage reading, for example, to have Kong come in and take the role of Gibson, and then to see what new things, for him to bring Gibson to life, and to discover, together who this character is, so likewise with sets and costumes, and I have some ideas, and as I've been writing, there's, I think in pictures, but I think I'm equally excited as to see eventually, what other folks are going to be able to bring to it, So
That's a good attitude.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be, that I can't tell you how much joy doing the reading and working with everybody, Joseph and the whole cast. It was an amazing gift, and that's part of the. So we're still in development, regardless. We come out of that. We have the chat backs. You stayed for. As you stayed for the chat back, and folks had an opportunity to ask questions, and Joseph asked questions as well, and we had a conversation. But then there was also questionnaires that were handed out. Once those got typed out, I got 12 pages worth of feedback.
Did you make changes based on that feedback?
Well, I will. I haven't yet. Focus has been getting these demos done, and then also just kind of letting things settle. But also there had been other things said, just like that one seed was planted some time ago about writing for musical theater. There was observations made during the process of us putting the reading on, where it was observed that there was a certain Southern Gothic kind of bent to it.
Right.
And so another thing I've been doing is revisiting some of my favorite Southern Gothic writers, and
So Flannery O'Connor and such.
yes, yeah.
Cool.
I'm about a third of the way through the collected works of Flannery O'Connor, and so part of that's going to fuel it. You know, the idea of a rock banjo opera that's New York style Southern Gothic.
Do you know Colin Cutler?
I do.
He's very big into his Flannery O'Connor and his Southern Gothic music.
He's incredibly academic about it, and
Yes.
he's done the full album now that is based on the songs.
That's right. But I didn't mean to sidetrack the conversation.
No,
but
Colin's an amazing songwriter and performer. I first met him at a Glendon Fest.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Laura Jane's place.
Yeah, that's where there was the first occasion I had to see him perform, and it's like, wow, this guy.
But anyway, I've got Tuning is Not a Town in China.
Tuning is Not a Town in China, Part 1. So we heard Dickie. He's introduced in the previous song, and he has an open mic that he hosts. And so this is Part 1, where he kind of sets the scene for the open mic.
Let's hear it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to the Avenue A. Open mic. That's right. 2 songs, 10 minutes. What a crowd. Gonna be here all night. No hate speech, anything else goes. You can even take off all your clothes. Sing in E minor about your vagina. Tuning is not a town in China. I'm Dickie Danger, my dukes. I am your host. Sounding board is the way us cool cats roam. Step on up, pick a hand, get a number. 57? That's late! What a bummer. Maybe get a bevy to settle those nerves. And don't forget to tip your servers. Laughing at my jokes will greatly improve your chance of a gig on Friday. Please, ma'am, just the facts. You want to set that on vibrate and stick it up your ass? No hate speech, anything else goes. You can even take off all your clothes. Sing in E minor about your vagina. Tuning is not a town in China. 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 Tuning is not. Tuning is not a town in China. Okay, who's got number 1?
That was some good rhyming in that song.
China and vagina and
E minor.
and E minor. Yeah.
I worked hard on that.
You can't learn that in the university. You got to be born. You got to be born with that.
We should remind folks that we are here in the studio with Breadfoot, Stephen Myers, Taz Halloween, and Kong. What's your last
Moi.
name? Kong. Yes.
Like a kiss.
Yes.
Moi.
Oh, I love that. Oh.
As writers and performers in the Sunnyland banjo rock opera that will be coming to a theater near you someday. We hope.
Hopefully IMAX.
Right?
Yes.
You know.
Dolby.
Oh, Dolby, definitely.
Let's see if we can handle 5 seconds of silence.
So what do you think? Would you like to dive into one more of the demos? Or do you have some other questions?
Well, I don't have any more questions right now. I mean, I have so many questions, but nothing is quite formulating into my brain
I have a
yet.
question.
Okay.
So first of all of your recordings are finished?
No, what we did was what I thought were 5 standalone numbers.
Selections, yeah.
And I also tried to pick 5 that kind of were sort of in order, so that as I'm presenting the work to prospective theaters or theater groups, artistic directors, individuals who would be in the same role as Joseph was at the process series, that they can kind of get a snapshot of what's going on. As a matter of fact, right now I'm working on an application for Fred Ebb Foundation Award, and there's a couple essay questions. The application form itself is reasonably simple, but then what they ask as a companion to the form is that you present a minimum of 4 numbers, and then that you provide the lyrics, because Fred Ebb was a lyricist.
Sure.
Ebb and Candor we're talking about. 2 of my more favorite shows, Cabaret and Chicago, and so you'll have the lyrics, but then you also have a little something synopsis summary that gives it some dramatic context.
Yeah.
So this is a grant opportunity, which, if I were to be awarded, then can help fuel some of these other. Not only could it give me some time off from my regular job to focus more on writing, but say that I get a stage reading at a college in Chicago. Often they'll cover the costs of putting the production on. So
You just got to get there.
you have to get there. You have to pay for your travel, right? So you're paying for your travel, you're paying for your hotel, and you're taking care of your own meals. So there's other expenses that are associated, and so I'll be looking for grants and or more of these opportunities like the process series to and that's where I'm hoping that these will be a great tool. That it's not all the bells and whistles. There's no soundscapes or some of the other stuff that I potentially hear in there, but hopefully it's enough rather than to hear a Sasha and a Dickie and a Gibson, Con and Gabby and Buck sing their parts in You're Gonna Love It, as opposed to me trying to do all the parts. I'm hoping that'll perk up more ears. It'll get a little more attention.
Sure.
And
Just take Taz everywhere you go.
wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
I was wondering if what was behind my question was whether people would be able to listen to these, but probably not. You're going to keep them under your wing for now.
Yeah, I think that these are going to stay kind of close to my chest.
Dude, we just broadcast them on the radio.
Well, we did. We
You
did.
know, for moving
archived.
around all the body part under my wing, close to my chest. Let's not go to any other parts of the body.
Huh? But what about the chocolate knees?
We all have chocolate knees.
That's what I understood.
Well, we do have another song queued up.
We do.
Curiously, it's the longest of these 3 tracks, and it is.
It is Not a Lot of Time, is what it's called. And Kurt was asking me earlier about songs and how this was actually one of the numbers where I thought I knew what the song was, and the character, who was Cassidy, told me, and the song completely changed, and it is definitely now her song.
Nice.
Yeah. And this one features Elena Holder. And so, yeah, go ahead. Let it roll.
Why try? You can't deny. Come on, girl. Better realize that if you all the times, don't you walk away. Your heart is not your mind. This time you gotta say exactly what you're feeling. Okay, here I go. Hey there, where you been? Flared up in the frame, and when I focused in, So hey, what do you say? Wanna grab a slice?
A slice of what?
Pizza, silly.
Yeah, that sounds real nice. Let me see.
No, it's on me. Hey, I know your name. Me, I'm Cassidy.
Hey kids, what are you having?
2 slices.
Can I get a Coke?
Only Pepsi.
Was that a joke? There's gotta be a joke. Wow, now ain't that something?
Hardly a better slice.
Know what I was thinking? It's how it is that life can turn right on a dime.
Shows you never know. Yeah, life's a funny thing. And had I just stayed home and never focused in on your eyes and realized then what we get is not a lot of time. Jumping in the deep end and I like it. Feet can't find the bottom and I don't care. First time in my life, would you believe I'm not? What?
I gotta go.
But I thought.
Sasha's waiting.
But I thought.
See you tomorrow. Meet me for coffee? Show me around.
But I thought.
See you tomorrow.
Gibson, please.
Hey, I gotta go.
Poor Gibson.
I
You
know.
just feel for the guy.
Sad lad.
Yeah.
Well, we are here talking about the rock banjo opera Sunnyland with its creator and a couple of the performers here live here in the studio. You guys going to do any more live music for us here?
Not this evening. We had the 3 numbers that we were able to kind of rehearse
Whoop
and
up.
prepare for you. Whoop up, whip up, whoop up. Yeah, and then we had the demos to share with you. All that was, specifically from.
All right. Well,
From the
we
show.
have 8 more minutes of live stream. Are you guys going to like tap dance or something?
We'll smile.
That is not necessary. I mean, smiling is necessary. Yes. Tap dancing, not necessary. We're at the bottom of the hour. 8 minutes from now is when we typically flip over and we start playing a playlist that you guys brought in, where we can then kind of get an idea of other recorded music that you think we should hear, that you think our audience should hear, or other recorded music that you've made that's part of the rock opera or part of your history, anything. So we can move on into that segment if you guys are prepared for that. Also.
Well, maybe we can talk.
Yeah, talk some more.
Where the words go? There they are. Yeah, what I had done for this final segment was actually curate a selection of numbers, being as that I had mentioned we had the occasion to have the chat back with the audience, and then we had the questionnaires and things, and then also there was some individuals that musicians and friends and other folks whose opinions that I value, that I had sent the video to.
Yeah,
to get their feedback. And one in particular was a longtime friend, Joanne Milton Hall, who's out of Kempston Seven Oaks. I originally met her when I was in London doing some shows and performances. I had a couple evenings booked with Richard Buckner, and she was acting as his tour manager on that particular run.
Nice.
So we played in London, and then we played in Brighton together. Had 2 really wonderful evenings, and Joanne and I have been friends ever since. She is also she's a photographer, but then also is a professor in American Studies and holds 3 degrees. But then also knows a whole lot about music, and we have a lot of similar tastes and interests. So I presented to her, and we were messaging back and forth, amongst other insights and conversations regarding tropes and Neil Simon and some other aspects of the structure and the form. One thing that she noted was it seemed as though the music seemed, although it was just performed with banjo and drums that evening, seemed to be a culmination of all my different styles of music. Everything that she had heard, from me as far as my output, from, not only the Breadfoot, which was her original introduction to, to my music, but then also, some of the earlier works. So what I chose to do was to bring you a selection of songs going back all the way to what would be my first proper band, and then work all the way up through what would have been the first occasion Taz and I had to collaborate.
Yep.
Oh, so this is a wonderful Stephen Myers archival evening. It's going to be fun.
Sunnyland Central.
But before we dive too deep in that, I did have one question about the feedback you got from the Process series. Was there any particular piece of feedback or anything that just kind of landed with you, or 3 weeks after you read it, kind of started to resonate with you? Any particular thing that really jumped out?
Well, there was the offhand remark about or observation that there was a Southern Gothic,
Right,
kind of leanings. And then there was, on the Saturday evening, an individual who went on about tropes and cliches and how there are other folks that live in New York City beyond artists and
I remember someone in
photographers.
the audience standing up and saying that. I think she was from New York and was saying, "Hey, you're getting a lot of cliche here."
Right. Well, what we're all hoping is that that will be her next musical, of course. But
I don't have my brushes with me.
sorry, not sorry.
Whoops. Whoops.
But yeah, she had she was on about the tropes is what stuck with me, and so I started thinking about the tropes, and I started thinking about and looked it up online and read definitions, and then within the theater, and then more specifically in screenwriting, and why are tropes used? Why do we have tropes? Why do we have stereotypes? And that was something that as Joanne and I were back and forth was, and that's why she referenced the Neil Simon. She had recently seen Plaza Suite there in London, featuring Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker. And something that, in her opinion, Neil Simon did really well was use tropes,
Right.
effectively. With tropes, we have a little bit of a shorthand. We know who these people are, or we have a good idea of who they are and what might be motivating them, to begin with. So we can, kind of get to the point a little bit quicker.
Makes sense.
But then Joanne also had an interesting point, in this day and age with social media, and how we represent ourselves and what people see online.
Oh yeah, it's a facade.
Yeah, is the trope and the facade or the avatar, that persona that we're trying to project, is there something to be studied on there? So that's something that I'm doing some thinking and some and ruminating about.
Gibson's going to have an Instagram account now.
But it might be that eventually you do that with all the characters. If it gets to a point where it is a larger production and we want to do some proper marketing, that could be very fun for the characters to have their own Instagrams.
Yeah, their own separate life happening online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the trope thing stuck with me. Even but then there, and I haven't read through all of it, and really, because I wanted to get on the far side of these demos and tick off that box, to be honest. But now I'll get into the. I just done a skim of the 12 pages that I mentioned that we had gotten from the feedback from the questionnaires, and one thing that folks had said consistently, there was a lot of folks really dug the open mic scene. So you heard Dickie's
Yes.
song, which was part one of that open mic suite or whatever it would be called. But yeah, folks really enjoyed the open mic scene. So I'm looking forward to reading more of those. And, in real time, I was able to jot down some notes that evening, and I've got those written on a piece of paper. But I also have feedback from the two dramaturgs that were, that worked on the show. And, so I've got tons of stuff there. And I actually haven't rewatched the show yet. I haven't rewatched the video that we have because I've just wanted to give myself some space.
Sure, let it digest it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to ride the high. We did something really wonderful.
It was
felt.
wonderful.
And I enjoyed that experience. So I wanted to just let that soak in. But then, I think it just needed space for me to be more objective, because now, I'll go in and I'll look for holes in the narrative, see what new songs I need to write, and then start working through a third rough of the libretto.
Well, congratulations. We've just used up those 8 minutes. Good job.
Awesome. Could I interject something really quick?
Absolutely.
I would like to say that there was a fella there that looked a lot like you that called me out, and I appreciate it very much. But also, it was you. But also, I'd like to say, in contrast to the thing about the tropes and the person who stood up and said that, what was very heartening to me was the same night, I believe it was a young lady who said it was fresh. And I thought that was
Nice.
great. I loved it. I think that was Saturday night. And
She was down front row right.
Yep, that's really what you want to hear from an audience is, hey, this is new and this is great and this I've not experienced this before.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yay.
And then there was another individual who actually had mentioned that they had trouble sitting still, and that if more musicals sounded like this, he'd be more inclined to go see music.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that remark
you?
as well.
No?
No, that was not me. It was a guy near me, though.
I remember that too.
But we have reached the end of this live segment. And before we go, I think, Stefan, you need to tell people where they can learn more about Sunnyland.
You can look for Breadfoot on Facebook, and there is a Sunnyland rock banjo opera page on Facebook as well.
Perfect.
And then on breadfoot.com, I'm constantly doing updates. And in fact, the archival video for that Saturday night reading performance is available to preview. If you like, you can go to breadfoot.com, breadfoot, one word.com, and check it out. I do have, and I'm inclined to think that at some point I'll do a Sunnyland, the musical webpage, but that just hasn't happened yet.
We'll grow into that over time.
Yeah,
Well-
I think it's a little early for that.
It is time for the live stream to end. So wave goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, live stream people.
Thank you. We'll pass the hat.
The show isn't over, though. Get back to WHUP FM 104.7 in Hillsboro, WHUPFM.org to hear the last 30 minutes of the show. But for now, you're gone.
Is that thing still on?
It's on, but